Welcome to Sustainable Health Empowerment's Health Education Series. My name is Mark Bannikin. I'm an internal medicine resident at UCLA Allevue, and I have been a volunteer with SHE for nearly 7 years now. I have helped participate and plan the inaugural medical mission trip to Cambodia in 2015. This trip was initially called Cambodians in Globalization, which was a study abroad trip with Cal State Long Beach and also a medical mission trip. In today's session, we will be defining what COPD means, understanding the anatomy of our lungs, understand how the lungs work to bring in oxygen into our body tissues and eliminate carbon dioxide. We're going to describe how COPD affects this process, which is known as gas exchange. And finally, we're going to identify causes of COPD as well as things that make it worse. So let's jump in. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, known as COPD, is a disease that gets worse over time and makes it hard to breathe. COPD can cause coughing that produces large amounts of mucus. It can cause wheezing, shortness of breath, chest tightness, and other symptoms. Cigarette smoking is the leading cause of COPD. It is not just a smoker's cough. It is a life-threatening lung disease that can progressively lead to death. Other causes can be long-term exposure to air pollution, secondhand smoke, which is the smoke of others that are smoking cigarettes, chemical or indoor cooking, fumes, and also dust. So let's also look at how the lungs work. When we breathe in air, it goes down the windpipe into two tubes that go into the left and right lungs. Each of these are called the bronchus. These branch into thousands of smaller branches called bronchioles. And finally, they end in small grape-like sacs called alveoli. Gas exchange. Small blood vessels called capillaries run through the walls of these air sacs. When we breathe in, oxygen from the air passes through these walls of the air sacs into the blood of the capillaries. At the same time, carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of the body that needs to be removed, moves from the capillaries and into the air sacs. This is when it is expelled when we breathe out. This process is called gas exchange. The normal function of the lungs is when our air sacs or alveoli are healthy. They act like little balloons, expanding when we breathe in and deflating when we breathe out. They are very elastic. In people with COPD, less air flows in and out of the airways. This may be because those air sacs lose their elastic quality, or the walls between many of the air sacs are destroyed, or the walls of the airways become thick and inflamed, or the airways make too much mucus, which clogs them. Here is what normal bronchioles and alveoli look like. And here is a lung affected by COPD. There may be mucus in the bronchioles, or the walls between alveoli may be broken down. So let's review what we've learned so far. Let's go ahead and match the body part with the correct description. Yes, capillaries are small blood vessels, and bronchioles are the small thin tubes. Finally, the alveoli are tiny round air sacs. Let's do another one. Which of the following are lung irritants? There's air pollution, chemical fumes, spicy food, dust, or all of the above. More than one answer choice may be correct. That's right. Air pollution, chemical fumes, and dust are all lung irritants. Lastly, COPD often causes which of the following symptoms? Chest tightness, wheezing, a rash, shortness of breath, coughing with mucus, or low back pain. Remember, there may be more than one answer that is correct. Yes, chest tightness, wheezing, shortness of breath, and coughing with mucus are all symptoms that are caused by COPD. This week, we have explored the anatomy of the lungs and the ways in which chronic obstructive pulmonary disease affects the lungs and their important job of gas exchange. In our next two sessions, we will look at the worldwide incidence of COPD, risk factors, symptoms, and diagnosis. Thanks so much for tuning in, and be sure to check out our next episode and all the episodes in this health series on our YouTube channel at Sustainable Health Empowerment.